there, it is Val from Val's NoisyToys video channel. It is time for Zahjira to have her Frostfall mod enabled, now that she's not in danger of freezing to death just because of the start. And of course, as things go, she picked the one start that if I'd had Frostfall on to start with, she would have died. That random start has a very interesting sense of humor. Alright, so basically it's pretty easy to set up. You can go to the mod configuration menu to set it up, which is what I usually do. You can also look at the sky at night when the stars are out for a few seconds, and it will do the same thing as me coming here and hitting start up Frostfall. So now there should be some messages coming up. There's one of them. Then we'll get a manual added to our backpack that will let us, if we want to use it in game, you can go in it and read about what the various capabilities of the mod are. You can also use the help menu in the MCM interface. Okay, so she is all set up in terms of the default settings for the mod. What I then do is I come in and I change the preset to hardcore, and then you hit apply and you exit out again and let it do its thing. And as you can see from the message here, it just took everything off of her because it's going to apply protection settings to all our equipment. And in order to do that, it has to make your character very chilly briefly. So let's get her clothes back on. Furs. Nope, not wearing that. Her robes. There, I think she is now all dressed and warm. Now, the changes, the tweaks that I make to the default settings are I turn off axe durability. Unlike Oblivion, since Skyrim has no degradation happening to your armor and weapons, I don't like having the axe being the only thing that wears down through use, so I turn that off. I also changed the exposure rate, and this is because I am running a time mod that slows the time down so it doesn't pass so fast in game. And because of that, the effect is that my character gets cold way too fast if I leave it at 1. So if this was not a Khajiit, if she was some other race, I probably would set it at 0.5 or 0.6, depending on the race. However, since she's a Khajiit and she's got fur, I give her a tiny bonus for actually having fur to at least not harm her ability to fend off the cold. So, exposure rate, axe durability, the rest of it I leave the same. Then I go to the effects and interface and I set up 2 hotkeys for weather sense and survival skills. And I'll show you that here quickly. When you hit F1, that brings up how cold you currently are. You can see that she's starting to get a little cold. It's -7. That's not how the temperature, it's how cold she is. You start off at 0. If you warm up, you get to +10, and you get little bonuses for that. But as you get colder, you actually get penalties associated with the chill. And if you hit F2, that brings up the survival skill menu. You can use it to build your campfire, craft items. There's 2 ways in Frostfall to craft items. You can do some of them through here, and there's other ones that you craft at a leather rack, I think you do the travel cloaks and the tents through the leather rack. You can harvest wood if you are out of wood, so you can build a campfire. Unfortunately, if you are already almost frozen, harvesting wood's not going to do you any good because it takes about an hour in game, and you will probably freeze to death collecting the wood. Just a warning. You can also use this to inspect equipment, so you can actually go and look at individual pieces of equipment and change how much protection they give. So it's really nice because if you have other armor added by custom mods, and the default is the standard protection, and if it's made out of fur, you might say, oh, well, it should be best protection, so you can change that on an as-needed basis. But what I originally came in here for was to show you her status. She's getting cold. She's now -10, so you can see while I've been talking, she's gotten colder. Her exposure protection is 175 out of 275. So she's got some protection, but if she was wearing all furs, she would be a lot better off, but she's not. Exposure resistant, hers is 2%, and that is from Wayfarer, from Skyrim. Once she is better in Wayfarer, she'll have more natural exposure resistance. You can also enchant items with, like the cloak, for example, or other pieces of armor or rings with resist frost, and that actually also adds to your exposure resistance, which is really nice. And as a side note, I haven't used this myself yet, but I've been told that if you cast Flame Cloak and then go into the water, cold water, you actually resist some of the really deleterious effects that you can get by going into cold water, so you don't die of hypothermia quite as quickly. So I don't know if she'll have an opportunity to use that, but I just thought I'd mention it. So there we go. Zahjira is now all set up, and the next time I talk to you, she will be on her way again.